And welcome back to this wrap up session of Tangle Strings. Yes, we are going to be ending this series with this session, but today's session we'll draw another tangle string, which is Pangea, right? And we are going to add a different tangle inside it. Let's get started with today's session. So, what I'm going to do is draw a kind of zigzag, curvy Pangea or a section created on this tile, and then closely aura this. So I'm drawing the string first, so I'm just using my pencil here, right? And then again closely aura the first one and just add these zigzag kind of ill-defined sections on my tile. Whichever way you like it, you can't really replicate it. Yeah, so I'm just going to add these sections on my tile like this. Yeah, so once you're done with that, now I'm going to probably add an orb in between each and draw the tangle pepper in this Pangea grid. Yeah, so let's get started right away. So pepper, as we know already, just going to add these lines emanating from the center and giving a slight turn to the line as we end it to give the effect of the line enclosing something. Yeah, and you can always give a highlight as you ink these sections. If you don't want to ink the sections, you can always add something else inside, for example orbs, puffs, whatever you feel like. Yeah, so I'm going to go with inking, and I've started adding my pepper, taking a cue from my pencil lines, the Pangea grid, rotating my tile as I move ahead. So there are many more such tangles which you can very comfortably use as grid and go ahead and draw different tangles within them, or you can look at have consider it as a tangleation maybe. So both ways it works well. For example, tangles like paradox, seedlings, many such tangles which have repeating auras can be used comfortably as strings to accommodate different tangles inside them, or you can look at them as interesting tangleations, whatever you feel like. Yeah, so you can either change the direction of these lines or you can go ahead the same way. It's entirely up to you. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead in the same fashion. Take your time and just add a slight curve as you end. Try to maintain that zigzag uneven kind of end which you have given to your string. Yeah, so that's one. So I am going to do the same exercise for the rest, or you can choose to add some tangle inside, right? So if you want, you can add some orbs inside like these. But if you want to do that, it would be a good idea to add one more aura like this, right? So again, I'm going to add some small tiny orbs there and then probably add one more layer of aura like this. So take your time, go ahead and do that exercise. You can do all the four in four different ways, entirely up to you. Yeah, if you want, you can also add auras in between. Yeah, so I'm done with two, right? So now the third one, I'm again going to add a little different. So again adding a slight curve at the ends, but then at both the ends. Adding a slight weight and then a slight curve at both the ends. So you can add anything that you wish to. Feel free, use the grid and add tangles of your choice. Take your time. So I'm just going with the flow, using my pencil string to limit my lines so that I know where to stop. Or you can totally do away with it and just draw freehand without any grid. Take your time. Almost there. Yeah. So that's the second one. Now moving on to the third. So I'm again going to add probably something different, or you can add the same thing. Entirely up to you. Let's see. So let's go with some fine lines and some bold lines here. A slightly different feel. Yeah. So I'm just alternating thick and thin lines. Nothing else. Take your time, slowly rotate the lines. Just go with where the grid is taking you. Yeah. So try using different angles as grid. Something like doodles can very comfortably be used as a grid to insert different angles inside. Tangles like settlings, which have repeating auras, can be comfortably used Paradox can be used in so many different ways. Yeah. So continuing in the same fashion, adding some bold lines, some thin lines. Yeah. So that was third one. Now we can add one more. So let's see what do we want to do there. Probably I'll go with a tangle called echoism. Let's see if we can manage to draw echoism in this kind of a grid. It will be really exciting. Yeah. This is something really different that I am doing. I'm just trying to draw this tangle in a very wonky grid. Maybe I can. Yeah. So let's see. I'm not going to add anything else to that right now. Let's first shade and see. So I'm going to add one more aura inside and add a small orb here, just like a droplet. Yeah, add some bit of graphite under the orb. Not much, just some touches. And then blend. So don't blend too much. Make sure you have white sections there inside. Like this. And then I will just add graphite on this Pangea string. A little more, it's already done with the pencil. I'm just adding a little extra. And then just blend it. Pull it towards the center but leave a highlight. Something like this. Yes. Moving on to the next. So again I'm going to add at the edges. Take your time. Just redo the Pangea string. Blur the graphite. Like this. Yes, moving on to our third. Again, go ahead and blend. Right? That's how we generally shade our pepper. We don't generally ink the edges. It's just something enclosed inside the striped lines. And finally our echoism. So as far as echoism is concerned, it looks kind of empty there. So I'm just going to add some bit of ink at the edges. Yeah, so I'm just going to enclose the edges, just adding a triangle kind of a thing inside and closing the edges. Yeah, nothing much, just little bit of ink at the ends to give it a more fuller look. If you want, you can just ink this part. Take your time. Just adding a little more zen to the echoism. Looks kind of cool now. Yeah. Yeah, that's about it. I don't think we need to add anything else there. Yeah. So now if you want, you can add some bit of highlights here and there, or you can leave it as such. You can also add some dots. So it's a good idea to add some fine dots at the ends. Again, optional. If you don't want to do it, you can do away with it. Just to re-emphasize the graphite a little more. Right, so it's up to you. How do you want to embellish? If you don't want, you can totally do away with it. If you want, you can add some black pearls, floating here and there. Yes, as far as this one is concerned, you can add a highlight since it is totally inked, so you can use your chalk and add a highlight like this. Yeah, and ink we have already added whatever we had to. We've already highlighted it, so if you want, you can add some dots here and there to add a little more. It's again optional. Yeah, that's about it. The center one, again up to you. If you want to add something, you can add small orbs, big orbs. If you want to place orbs there, you can add orbs throughout. I don't want to do anything else there. I will just place one or two black pearls here and there where I see some empty spaces spilling over, and that's it. That's the Pandia string with some pepper floating around, right? So I'm going to close my tile here, put my chop, sign and date my tile. So today is 4th of July. Yeah. So that's the end of the series, this currently running series on Tangle strings. I will see you with another session, another new idea, some new sessions, some new series. Till then, have a good time. Bye bye.